any words of wisdom do you would like to share to the Korean adults?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound morbid, but life is really short. So, you know, don't take advantage of the fact that the people that you love will be here forever. Like time just moves faster and faster as you get older. Like I'm turning 40 this year, and so technically about half my life is gone. I got half left. This past year, my sister-in-law, right around April, she was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. She has 2 kids with my older brother, and if you knew them before this happened, I don't want to say I guess they would be a couple that really took life for granted at times. My older brother was just very career-driven, money-driven. You know, he wanted to live in the baller house with a nice car and send his kids to the best, most expensive private schools. And she was probably more on the colder side, emotionally, very distant. But after this whole event, and just kind of going through it together, like my older brother, he's a VP at Bank of America. He took off like 6 months from work just to stay with her every day. Took her to the doctors to get her chemo, her radiation therapy. I brought them a lot closer, and I noticed that throughout this whole time, like they even treated their children differently. Before they weren't as very warm and loving to their kids, but now I could tell that there is that sense of urgency that they don't take the people that are close to them for granted. They try to spend as much time with them, and so, you know, my advice is just don't take it for granted. Like, life is really short. I mean, I've had friends recently who have passed away. We know families that, like, their children have passed away. So it's, you know, for all of us, like, death comes for all of us. And so, we just can't take it for granted.
Stacy?
I have a few things. One is, like I said it in number 1, like I think relationship with people is going to always take work, you know. You can never take it for granted. Even the friends, when I first came to CCH, most of my close friends were here. And one by one, they, you know, got married and moved away, and, you know, it gets harder when they start having kids, you know. A lot of my friends have kids now, and it just becomes a production to even like get together. You know, it gets harder and harder. And yeah, I had more friends back then, and now it's, you know, it's a struggle for me too, to be honest. To, you know, like it takes a lot of work to like, you have to go out of your way to just have lunch with somebody or have dinner with somebody. You know, it's like with children involved, it gets harder. And I just feel like, you know, the transition from college to young adult to marriage and all those things, like I feel like, you know, there's like, once you kind of, I guess, after college is a struggle to, you know, finding that niche at the church, but it's another struggle once you enter into another stage of life, you know, just connecting with other married couples. Even that's a challenge too, like, you know, you think about chemistry with another couple, or even if you like it, like, you know what I'm saying, it just gets more complicated. And then later on, like, I hear about children's not getting along, or, you know, something, like, it just takes a lot of work. So I don't think this is the end of it. It's just, you know, I think it's constant effort that, you know, we need to put into to really make it work. And yeah, just having a phone date with my friend is becoming a production too. Like, you know, texting, hey, when are you free? When are you free? And I don't know. I don't think it ever ends. So I'm realizing that, like, looking back, like, yes, it's the relationships, and I think it'll always come first. You know, families, friends, and all those things come first. I think families come before ministry too. You know, you have to serve your family well. You know, and family is a place where you nurture each other so that it's like a springboard to serve better in other fields. You know what I mean? So, anyways, yeah. So relationship takes effort. And number two is, you know, part of me wished that like I got all the schooling out of the way. Like, you know, there was a time when I would consider like grad school just because I didn't want to face the reality of finding jobs right away, and there's that fear. You know, it was the fear that drove me to like want to go back to school again. But then this stage of my life, I'm like, oh, I think I really want to pursue something. You know, go back. I would love to go back to school for something. You know, but then with, you know, being married and, you know, we're thinking about having children. You know, it's just, I don't know. It's like part of me wish like I kind of got all the education out of the way. But it's not to say that like once you're married you can't do any of it. You still can, but it's just going to be a lot harder. So I say when you have the time, you know, it's so precious. Like 20s just went by like that for me, and yeah, I really wish I took more advantage of those times. You know, yeah. So those two.